assuming now that I actually
My techie brother,
spotlight. There we go.
my techie brother figured out how to cheat. He went to YouTube and Googled Didi Hilke Tai Chi and found it.
Well,
Oh, good.
there's one on one site, and then there's a bunch on the other sites. In the chat
So,
box, if you guys are available, it should be something like this. Go to YouTube, and then this is not the whole URL. And I'm really bad at spelling, so I may even spell YouTube wrong. I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure it's YCF Seattle. If you look for that place on YouTube, and I'll try to send that out, then you can look for a playlist, I think, which is Basics and Fundamentals. But you can also search for something like body shape or footwork, and just over that whole area. And Nancy Lucero did a really lovely thing on body shape and footwork. It puts a lot in one lesson, but those are really good too.
thank
So,
you.
so it is a couple minutes after noon. I've told the folks who are here that I'm kind of decked out today in different tape. Got it on my feet, going the directions of my toes, and on some of my larger bones, which they've tried to align recently, which is wonderful because I've got new knees. So that's terrific. And so I'm a little more aligned, a lot more aligned than I used to be, and have a lot better knees than I used to be. Anyway, let's get started. And let me just get it so I can see you guys here. A little better. All right. And just a reminder that this is our Basics and Fundamentals class for Grasp the Bird's Tail. It's our fourth session. We've been working a lot on our lower body recently. Today we're going to coordinate our upper body and our lower body. But we're going to start in our upper body. And let's just start with what we often do. We stand with feet shoulder width apart about. This puts our weight underneath our shoulders and our hips, makes it easy. Go into what we call prepare, which is when you run through kind of a checklist. So you've heard some of these things from me now for a few weeks, but whether you put a balloon on the top of your head or let the clouds, whatever your favorite image is, sort of draw it up. Think of lengthening along in the back of the neck. When you do, let your shoulders just kind of sink and relax down. Feel the bottoms of your feet. Do you feel that the weight is on your entire foot? Maybe the weight's more on one foot than another. You might want to adjust that. You might want to say, where's my center line of my spine? Can I adjust that so that it's the same amount on both feet? Maybe come forward a little. Oh, now it's a little bit towards the balls of my feet. Come back a little. Now it's a little towards your heels. There's a sweet spot there right between. When if you tried, you would have a really, kind of wouldn't even want to pull your toes up or your heels up because your whole foot is on the ground. And then we're going to do this opening move we've done before, feeling a stretching, wonderful energy coming across our shoulders. And then as if you're levered down and back, your hands float up. And then your elbows droop and you push a ball into the water. Just a little resistance. Lovely. And then we'll come back. And again, opening up and little wave and down. And one more. We're going to come up. This time, when we come up, I want you to open out, sort of pulling taffy, keep those shoulders down. And then same thing, kind of from the upper arms first, pushing, squishing a little bit. And open out and come in. Oh, you guys look great. Opening out, coming in. Now can we bend our arms, and bring our hands back a little bit? And what if we pushed out? Just pushed out. Come back. Push out. Go back to opening up. And this time come across. One arm is in front of the shoulder. One arm is underneath. It's like you had a big oval egg where you were turning a ball. Turn that ball out and in. And open. And remember how we moved our upper body without moving our lower body? As we go to the side with that arm, we turned. And then as we open, we come back. But we're not moving our hips, just our upper body. And maybe we don't get very far because maybe we don't have a lot of extra room. We're just going to keep doing this. Maybe we don't have a lot of extra flexibility yet. Remember that 70% rule. We don't go too big. Now imagine when we go and do it the next time that your arms will not move unless your belly button turns. And then when it turns back, your arms open. And when it turns to the side, your arms close. Your elbows droop. They are just hanging out. In fact, let's make a droopy circle. That circle comes down. It could be like a bag of apples. We could pull it up by pulling our shoulder blades down with a lever. We could open our arms, bring them in, and push out. We could open our arms and maybe bend our knees and come down and push up the diagonal as we extend our knees. And come back and down like over a garage door, right? And then up the diagonal. All right, let's, I want to talk a little bit about this and then we're going to do some more warm-ups here. So this is our basic hand shape. So get this basic hand shape by having a hand. We've all got two. If we're lucky, we've all got two. So you've got your hands. And for right now, as long as it doesn't hurt, I want you to kind of extend those hands. Just extend them. And then come back to like where just a little bit of relaxation. So they still feel extended and energized. Extend, that's too much, and then come back. So you're not coming like this. They're still extended, but you come back. This is our basic hand shape. It has a little bit of, separation for most people in their hands. And then it has what we call the tiger's mouth right here. Tiger's always hungry. It's a martial art. Tiger's always trying to grab something. So it's always hungry. That's our tiger's mouth. And in general, our elbows are always down. Well, look at this. If your elbow comes up, it's very hard to keep your shoulder from coming up too. Do you see that? I mean, I'm working really hard trying to keep that shoulder. Most people do this. But even if I try to keep my shoulder, it's hard. If my elbow gets above my shoulder, I can't keep it down and there's tension there. So we want to, in general, for our body shape, we want to have these lovely hands, and we want to have circles. Circles. You see that circle right there? And we want our elbows to be down. It's going to help us keep our shoulders down. All right. So it's just the sort of body shape 101. The other thing we want to have is a circle, right? A circle from the tips of our fingers all the way to the center of our sternum and all the way back. All right? And another circle across our back. So we're not like this, we're like this. And both of those circles basically coming together so you feel unified in the front and in the back. Long neck, relaxed shoulders, arms out, connected. Wonderful. We'll be coming back to this. I want to show you one more thing about arm positions because we're going to get back to it later, and we'll do a lot more with this later. So it's that basic hand. You've already got it. We were doing a push earlier. I want you to imagine you're really pushing something, right? How do you feel when you push? Let's actually do that for a moment, right? Let's, how would you push, like you may have had this experience, try to push a car? Have you ever had to do that? You kind of, right? Yeah, right. What do you push with? Yeah, most of us push with our palm sort of from here and here, right? That's like the center of the force. That lower part of our palm, possibly the whole thing. But if you look at my arm, the arm is going to push. And if you drew a line, right, it would be coming out right here, right? But you want to distribute that force. So this shape that we've been doing is not so different from a push shape, but when you saw it here, it's oftentimes just sort of this lovely sort of arm shape. We'll be talking more about that as we move on. But now when we go to push, how am I going to do this? There we go. When I go to push, do you see it's not like this and it's not like this, it's more like this, right? And why is that? You can kind of feel your hands naturally went there, right? Yeah, yeah. This is good. This is push. This is push. It's not way down here, it's in here. It's your palm. If you can get your whole palm on something, that's great. The center of that push is where you're going to need it to be right behind your body. Does it make sense when you're trying to push something? So when in doubt, let your body tell you where you want that push to be. All right, I want us to warm up a little bit more with our feet, with our legs. So let's, we've done our upper body pretty much, right? We've moved our arms. We could do a little hula hoop. We haven't done much of that. That's just sort of letting your hips move. Letting your hips move. Oh, some of you really do this well. Did anybody have a hula hoop back in the day? Aha, yes, yes. You were good or you weren't good at it, right? Let's kind of hula hoop our knees for a minute. And again, if anything hurts, don't do it. Some of you have really got this down. And notice that if your balance is working here, you're kind of keeping yourself aligned, right? And then we can stand to the corner and hips to the corner, put all of our weight on our back leg, and then just put that foot out. Let me see if I can get where you can see me. Put that foot out and go heel toe. You're standing though, your hips are towards the corner, but you've turned your leg out. You see how I've turned my leg out? So I can go heel toe. And let's stand on the other side. Oops, excuse me. Same thing on the other side. Hips to the corner, all of our weight on the back leg, and heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Your own pace. You don't have to do it at my speed. And we'll go back. Kelly likes to do this, and I like this too. We're going to stand here at the corner, turn, open that hip crease. We talked about that last time, and put our little toe, big toe, little toe, big toe, little toe, big toe, little toe, big toe. This will help your balance. What really helps your balance in this case is to keep yourself centered on that back leg to the corner and stand thinking about the corner and just turn the leg out, isolate the leg. Aha, I see Rima has put something on top of her head. A very good idea, excellent idea. If you're having trouble balancing, let something on your head hold you up a little bit. All right, let's go over the footwork again for the bow step. And oh, no, I want to do one other thing for us. We talked about folding. So you don't have to look at yourself. Well, let's do it this way first, and then then you can watch me. So let's go back and do something a little bit different from what we were doing before. I want us to, you know how we were coming up? I want us to just make waves. That's pretty easy, right? Coming down, and then just back up. Keep those shoulders down. Oh, you guys are doing a great job of keeping those shoulders down. Okay, now this time, when we go up and then come down, when we come down, why don't you just bend your knees a little bit and sink? And then straighten them. It's the beginning of coordinating our upper and lower, and then sink. See if you can make the end of your sink, it doesn't have to be far, and the end of your straightening at the end of your top and at the end of your bottom. Can you make the two go together? It can be a little tiny sink or it can be a big one, it doesn't matter. Imagine you're going through water. Oh, the water feels so good as you move those arms up through it, and then they drop the elbows. You're kind of like little waves, and you come down. And if you were in the water, you'd feel very buoyant, right? Maybe a real wave comes up, right? All right, now I want us to look at our posture as we do that. If you can, I want you to stand and just kind of stand and look at yourself. Remember we talked about folding last time, like my son Ethan? So that you can stay there. So as we do this exercise, you can kind of watch yourself as you fold. And up and fold. It's a little fold in the upper body. You can even experiment like, oh, I'm going to stick my butt out. What's that like? Oh, nice job, guys. I'm going to keep that, tighten those abs. What is that like? That probably makes your back straighter, which is kind of nice. But it may also put your weight in your heels. So you don't want to be back like this. You don't want to be way sticking your butt out. And we don't want to be way forward. We want to be just right in the middle. I want you to imagine your tailbone going straight down. You're just folding. Nice. Really nice. Tailbone goes straight down. It's relaxed. All right, thank you. Good job. Good job. Everybody looks wonderful. All right, so let's go back to bow step and really talk about these knees in line with our toes. You know, we did this, remember? We did those knee bumps, sort of the warm-up knee bumps. Both sides, your own pace is fine. Those knees need to go in the same direction as your toes. And when you do that, that means that you don't let this knee come in, right? You don't go, oh, I turned my whole hips and have that knee come in. No, 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 no. That knee's out here, right? Knee bump, knee bump, knee bump, knee bump. And on the other side, knee bump, knee bump. I want you to attend to the fact, let's be very gentle with yourself now. Come out. I want you, as you're knee bumping here on this side, I want you to kind of put most of your weight on this side, but I want you to feel most of your weight over here now, because I don't want you to hurt yourself. Let that come in and feel how what's really happening is your hip is coming in right here at this crease. Do you feel that? We want to keep this open. Open. Let's experience that on the other side. So here we are. We're going to put our weight over on, I'm going to put our center over here for now so that we're not going to hurt this. But let it collapse for a minute. Don't put any weight over there. Have your weight over here. And notice. You see? You're opening and closing this part right here. Let's be a gorilla for a second. The gorilla. Yeah. Yeah, especially in the lower body, the gorilla. Notice how round I am. And I'm open. I'm really open right here on both sides. Both sides. And my weight is really centered. Right? If I extend this one and bend this one and put it, look down, make sure your knees in the direction of your knees in the direction of your toe. And then I could come back to the center and I could still sort of gorilla. I find that gorillaing helps me relax my tailbone and get it pointed straight down. I don't know if other people are the same way. Then you could extend this one a little bit too, and you'd notice how this comes over, right? But right here, we are just gorillaing straight forward. Let's go into a bow step. Remember what a bow step looks like. We're going to shift our weight to one side, turn out on the other side, and then we're going to kind of knee bump as we go down and shift our weight all the way over. See where my center has moved all the way over here. When it gets all the way over, I can unfold this foot, however far it goes. It may go not very far. Push with the back foot, absorb with the front foot, knee in line with the toe, bend knee, back leg is straight. I want to show you this from the side. So this time we're going to shift a little to the right if you're doing it in the same direction that I am. Turn out to the left, move our weight over to the left, pick up that right foot, extend it, and then move, knee, ball, toe, bend knee. Look at my back leg. You see how my back leg is turned in line so that the upper part of my leg and the lower part of my leg are aligned. I'm not doing this, turning my hips this way. Do you see? My hips are open. And it's not just that my hips are to the corner, it's that I'm open here, especially on this one. Okay? So I wanted to clarify that in answer. And we're going to go one step further today. We're going to shift back and forth. This is one of the hardest things to do in Tai Chi, believe it or not, and to do safely. So we're going to start by getting into a bow step, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and gorilla it. Feel both feet. Feel both feet. Earthquake. So the back. Well, that was interesting. I am going to mute us all for the moment. All right, how's that? I think we're good. Not sure what happened. All right, so back foot out 45 degrees, front foot straight, feet about shoulder width apart, right? Relative to the straight direction. Heels are, what we want to do, watch my center line, is we want to go back and forward. You may not even be able to really see that. We want to go back and forward. Now, a lot of what happens to people, so we can just do this for a second, when they try to go back and forward, is this happens. But we want to keep turned here. We want this knee here, but we want this hip. I want you to imagine now that the two lines I have back here are like railroad tracks and my hips are on them. And as I straighten this leg and bend this leg, my hips come a little more square. And then less square as I come forward, and then more square, and then less square. And that keeps this right in the center. You see that? Now they're not going to get real square because I don't know that you can see that. If they kept real square, do you see how this knee right here is not in line anymore? But it's so you don't want to like turn like this. You come back, and it's easier to get back if you sink. It's easier to get back if you sink, almost like you're sitting on a chair. Let's try it on the other side. So we're gonna put 1 foot out to the right. I'm sorry, we're gonna move our weight to the left a little, turn out, because if you're mirroring me, you're going to be different. Bring our weight over, bend both knees in the direction, knee bump in the direction, right? But our weight's over here now. Unfold, move forward, bend the front knee and straighten the back knee. And this line should be right in the center, and your hips are open to the corner. Okay? Now we're gonna bend the back knee and straighten the front knee. And as we do, we're gonna let the hips turn just a little bit. Can you see that? Get a little, it's hard for me to get, see, I can show better here. Taking a risk, turn, uh-oh. Maybe I shouldn't have taken that risk. All right. So here, here. See how my hips are turning? Let's do it on the other side. This foot out to the corner. Stand with your hips in the corner and just step out. Shift your weight. Bend the front knee and keep open to the corner. And back and forward. Now, pay attention to that. Remember we talked about the foot, both feet being flat on the ground earlier? And you moved the weight from your ball to your heel. Do you remember that? I don't want your weight changing on your feet. You'll have more weight in the front when the knee is bent and more weight on the back when the knee is bent, but you should not feel it moving this way on your feet, or particularly this way on your feet. You should just feel it going down. So see what you can do to get the weight going down.
So, Dee Dee, I have a question about that.
Yes.
My knees are not perfectly lined up with my bones, so they're a little off. And so for me to try to line up my knee like parallel with my foot, unless I'm bending my knee like bent, it seems to be over a little bit. And when I try to straighten it, my feet bend to the sides.
Right.
And I know I don't want to do that. So it's sort of a struggle to try to keep my feet straight and get my knees over, and I don't want to strain my ankles.
So, and you don't. So what I want you to do is feel that you are not straining your knee.
Okay.
And that you're on your whole feet. And if that means you're not perfectly aligned, you know that's already true of your body, right?
Right.
There's no way we're going to get your body to align when it's already not aligned. And you and I can talk more about that. Okay. I had a 11% on each side knock-kneed, which is about like that. And that's how I was. And I had to make those adjustments all the time. And I'd look down and I'd go, well, shoot, my knee looks like it's going way over there, you know? Yeah. So I understand that some people, their knees go one direction or the other, or it's not aligned. So
yeah, that's always been a little bit of a struggle, but I'm trying to get, and I realize everyone's not exactly the same, but just trying to make sure I know what I shouldn't be doing, which is straining one side or the other.
You should never be straining one side or the other.
Okay.
And when in doubt, experiment with opening here and being a gorilla.
Okay.
Because this is what matters. I mean, if you've got this, even if your bones don't quite align, you will be better. And you can adjust this a lot, right in here. And sometimes you're closing that and sometimes you're opening that, and it takes a long time to get a feel for that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. But you guys, actually, when I'm looking at you, I can tell that you're paying attention. I can tell you're working on this, and I can tell it's making a difference. Let's try putting some things together. All right. So I would like us to. You can stand next to me to the extent that you can see. And we're going to shift our weight to the right a little bit. And then we're going to turn out, opening that crease right in that left and sort of swinging, starting to swing your hips a little. But remember, knee bump now as you come down. Let your weight go over to the left. Unfold that right leg. Push with the back leg, absorb, heel, ball, toe with the front leg. You're knee bumping with that front leg because now it has most, and you're very open. And you've got this nice line from the bottom of your heel all the way to the, through the back of your head, right? So we're gonna do that. Now, I want you to come back, just push back. And as you push back, this leg stays, look back and see where that knee is, the knee over your toe, and then come forward and push back and come forward. Now, can you put your arms out like they're pushing? And can you let them sort of extend a little bit and the hands come down? Now just follow my call. Push with the front leg, bend the knee in the back leg, bring your arms back over a garage door and down. Feel the down here. And then push with the back leg into your pushing hands as you come forward. And then straighten. Push with the front leg, bend the back leg over the garage door, and push with the back leg up the diagonal to the front. Nice, one more time, and coming back over the garage door and up the diagonal. Lovely. Let's do that on the other side. All right. So we're going to trying to remember which foot we just had out. We had our right foot forward, right? All right, well, yes. So now we're gonna shift to the left, turn out to the right, bend both knees and shift our weight to the right, unfold that left leg, push with the back foot, absorb with the front foot, straighten the back leg, hips to the corner, look down, check that you are in line. Come back, push with the front, straighten the front leg, and bend the back leg simultaneously. Keep them aligned. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Those hips, notice the hips. As the front knee bends, the hips are to the corner. As the back knee bends, the hips are less than corner, not straight. It's a little change in the hips in order to make it work. You will find this easier if you can kind of sit in a chair as you go back. Sit in the chair. Let the bottom of your tailbone reach for the floor. This is great. You guys are doing a great job. Oh, you look so good. All right. Now, same thing. Put those hands out in a pushing position. Get your gorillas on. We forgot to do that. If your gorillas on, it's going to help drop your tailbone. You've finished pushing. Imagine pushing. Now, you're going to just let your arms extend a little, your fingers go down, but now you're going to push. You're going to push with your bottom, with your left leg, absorb with your right one, and come back down over that garage and up the diagonal as you come back to the front. Then we're going to let our arms extend, and we're going to come back over the garage door and push up the diagonal and extend. One more time. And over and back. Now, anybody here have the experience that one of those sides felt really natural to you and one of those sides didn't feel natural at all? Anybody have that experience? Yes. Yes, 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 I'm hearing that.
So
All
Dee,
right.
I also noticed that more of my weight shifted from the center of my pelvic area. When I went forward, it was a lot more like more than 60% at least was shifted over to the side of the left leg, the one in front. And I think you're supposed to be your weight is supposed to be in the middle, right?
Yeah, yeah. So if you're having this happen, you see,
Yeah,
this tells you're having this happen.
maybe.
Okay, here's the solution. Start in the center, turn your hips, bend the front knee, and relax your tailbone, get in a gorilla. I am right now in front. I want you to watch how little actually, I'm only moving about, look at this. I'm only moving about 3 inches in terms of my center and my tailbone. So it's not this, right? It's not this. It is, you don't want your opponent, you like the Marshall things, Marion, right? You don't want your opponent to know where your center is. You don't want to do this big telegraphing. I'm over here now. Hey, I'm over here now, you know, because they're going to get you. They're going to say, oh, I see Marion. She's moving from here to there. No, 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 no. Subtle. Subtle, like a gorilla would do it. Dig your feet in. And this is what you're doing. This, one almost straight, one bent. One bent, one almost straight. That's all you're doing, and your hips make this little turn. And the key is also this tailbone. Now, this is going to sound really terrible, guys, but if you can think of somehow, Mike talks about having a bowling ball, like coming down your spine, like something a pendulum you could swing. And you want to swing that pendulum. Swing that pendulum. And see if you can get it going this way instead of this way. Another thing I like to do is I like to think that I have, like I'm sitting in a chair, and it's almost like I could brush the chair off with my my bottom, it's like I had a tail or something, and I could brush it off. And I'm just kind of like, can you get a feel for getting your tailbone straight down? When your tailbone is straight down, I'm not expecting you to be able to do this like overnight, but I'm actually looking at you guys and seeing in your bodies a difference. Angela, fabulous. Anki, yes. Maria, Maria F, very nice. You know, the rest of you, I can't really see down very far. So you know, you may be doing it, but this is something you're not going to pick up just overnight. Okay. Now let's put some of these things together before we close. So let's go back into our prepare mode. And you don't have to do it perfectly. Just every once in a while, glance down, make sure that you're doing those knee bumps or feel those knee bumps. So let's prepare. Remember, get ourselves all aligned, our feet flat on the ground. And we're going to come up. And we're going to come down, pushing, 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 pushing. And then we're just going to let our hands come down. We're going to shift to one side and turn out. And then we're going to bend both knees. And we're going to take a step forward and turn our hips to the corner. Remember that? And come back. They turned a little bit back. Turn them to the corner. Come back. Put our hands out. Arms are bent. Can you still push? You've just finished pushing. You go any further, you wouldn't be pushing. Make sure you've just finished pushing. Now, as you start to bend your back knee, your hands flatten. And then as you bend it further, you're coming back till you're sitting back. Nice. Rebecca, you look fabulous. Push up the diagonal. There's going to come a moment when you know that push isn't there anymore, right? And flatten, come back, over. You finish when your front leg's almost straight and your back leg is bent, and then you push from the back and start to bend that front knee. And then we'll push from the back foot, bring our feet up and our hands down and up. Keep those shoulders down. I so appreciate Kelly. Those of you who take from Kelly, she talks about go up. I think of inhaling and celebrating, bringing my arms together. And she says, you're a snow globe. All the things that have been stirred up are starting to calm down. And up. And as we come down, we're going to bend our knees a little because we're starting to coordinate the lower. And then we're going to straighten them as we go up. Just gently. It doesn't matter how well we do it. Peace. Peaceful. One more time without me talking. All right, thank you guys. Great job. Your bodies were really, really doing it today. Fabulous. Any last questions? I can't hear you, Maria. I did mute everybody. I apologize for that.
Didi, this class is so aptly called fundamentals because, you know, everything we learn has to be in your subconscious. By the time you put it, you know, you have to make transitions, then you're all lost. It has to be part of you already. Am I right? That's why I'm focusing so much on these early moves. Otherwise, all those other steps are fine, but they don't look good.
Yeah. And when in doubt, everybody, pay attention to what feels naturally for you. If I say you're pushing and it feels like you couldn't possibly push, we can talk about that. Like, where'd the push go? You know, right? Because we want to connect this with the things our body already knows how to do. Because then, as Maria says, it won't be something we have to think about. It'll just be something we already have in our bodies, right? So thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. I gotta go. I will be in from Arizona next week.
Travel safe,
Thank you.
Holly. Travel safe. Yeah.
I have a room that's got a mirrored closet wall, so that will make this interesting.
Oh, that should make it wonderful. Terrific.
All
I'm
right.
just stopping the recording here for
All right.
us.
Take